sometimes it can be hard to think and define what it means to have a good marriage, right? You think, okay, we want to be happy. It's like, okay, but how do you do that? Or like, we want to be in love. Okay, but like, how do you do that? Sometimes what can be easier is if you just define, what do you have to do to have a really awful marriage? And then do the opposite of those things.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about what you would have to do to have a really awful marriage, which sounds really weird. But we're going to talk about 10 things you can do to have a really awful marriage.
Just to guarantee your marriage would be horrible.
Guarantee it would be awful, so then we can do the opposite.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married with Muchicas podcast. We are so excited that you're here. We are Richard and Hailey Muchica, and today we're going to intro this show a little bit differently. Richard has a fun fact about our marriage that we've never shared before.
Oh,
what have you got?
This is so exciting.
What do you got?
Okay, I had to think about this on the fly, but fun fact about our marriage. We've been married for 12 years, and
we say that every week.
We've moved 4 times. Wait, how many times?
So we had La Puente, Big Range, Pintail.
Oh, yeah. So in 12 years, we moved 4 times. There you go. Fun fact of the day about Hailey and I.
Fun fact.
Like
That's
that
not that interesting, but
it's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact.
That's a cool
It'll
one.
work.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it feels nice to just like get to sit down and talk to you. I feel like we've had kind of a crazy...
Oh, man, I know. It's like we're coming off the back burner of a lot of action. Even we just had hot cocoa night.
We did. Okay, so we can talk about that. We'll get to hot cocoa night in a second.
Year's little resolution.
I do want to talk about that. But before we talk about that, I just feel like things have been crazy.
It's call number 2.
And it seems like in your life, like obviously Christmas and stuff is crazy. And then the way your business works is it gets crazy come January.
I know.
So it's like we come off of Christmas and then it just like spikes right back up. So
right into it, baby. Just hit the ground running
crazy. So I feel like I haven't gotten to talk to you as much lately. But
point.
Since you brought up hot cocoa night, I don't do New Year's resolutions typically, but I'm
not a big believer in New Year's resolutions either.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. I'd rather like if I want to change something, I'm going to change it now. Why do I have to wait till January?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do like to pick a word that I focus on for the year. And I started doing this 4 years ago.
And that's interesting.
I know. So the very first year, my word was hospitality. And that was a year I really wanted to focus on opening up our home to people and whatever. And then the year after that, I did gentleness. And I remember at that time really just feeling like I had 4 young kids and I felt like I was a little bit frazzled and I had lost a little bit of like my gentleness as a mom. And I really wanted to focus on getting that back. And so that was a couple of years ago. And then last year, my word was peace. And I remember I was going into year 2 after losing my dad. And I really felt like, okay, that first year, you're kind of just like in the swamp of grief and it's just kind of like surviving. And then that second year, I feel like, okay, I'm kind of coming out of survival mode and I need to figure out how to come to peace with this. And for me, that really meant just telling God and being honest, like, look, I don't get it. I don't like it. I wouldn't choose this, but I trust you anyway. That's powerful. Like being okay with that. And so that was my focus last year. But my word for this year is connection. And I'm really, really excited about it because I feel like, and now this was just me, and I'm very honest with myself in that my capacity for things outside of our family is not huge. And so as a young mom, I felt like my capacity for friendship was just almost nothing. And so that part of my life just really, really faded away. And now our kids are a little bit older. They're a little bit more independent. We have a babysitter that we know, like, trust, our kids love.
That's good,
so I feel like I can kind of open up my life a little bit more to that possibility again. And so of course, connection is I want to focus on my connection with you. I want to focus on my connection with the kids, but I really want to focus on connecting with friendships in my life. That's really a big focus for me this year.
I think that's going to be a good one for you because I think for a long time, I mean, you're such a warm, gentle, friendly person. You're really good on a one-on-one basis. when it comes to crowds, I think sometimes because you're introverted, it can kind of like frazzle you a little bit. But I think you shine when it comes to relationships. But I think, for a long time, to your point, you've maybe neglected
totally neglected. And in a way that like I never resented. And I felt like motherhood really just like became the entirety of who I was. And I was okay with that. But I feel like I'm kind of coming out of that a little bit where I can explore a little bit more of myself in this way.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited.
That's exciting.
And so one way we've decided to do that as a family is that every month we're going to just invite people into our home for no reason other than just to connect with people. And so for January that we did like a hot cocoa night.
It was a lot of fun.
It was super fun. So this particular one was other families and their kids that we invited over.
Tons of hot cocoa.
Like literally close to 5 gallons of hot
cocoa. And it all went.
And it all went.
If you're wondering.
But in February, we're hoping to do something maybe kind of couple related in honor of Valentine's Day. And then maybe sometimes I'll do just moms or I don't know. But every month I'm going to really stretch myself to do something focused on connecting with people. I love it. And I'm excited about it. Do you have a focus for this year? What are you focusing on?
You know what? I don't do that focus thing, but I'll tell you what. So we recently went to a New Year's Eve party and we had our nephew there, Brayden, and he's a very intelligent young man. He's only like 21 years old, but super solid dude, loves Jesus, pretty dialed in a lot of ways. He learns like a machine.
He loves theology and apologetics and all. He just loves it.
Yeah, he's a great dude. But he kind of convicted me a bit. And the one area, because he said, hey, this is my challenge to you for the year, right? And of course, we hear it every year, but it's like, don't skip prayer and don't skip worship, reading the scripture every day. Like connect with God. And I'll tell you what, 2025, I really put that on the back burner. I just, don't get me wrong. Like I felt like I'm still like connected, with God. And we obviously go to church. We try to center our home around it. But in terms of reading and prayer, I really didn't do much of that. And so I felt convicted about it. So it's not like, hey, it's a resolution, but it is, if you want to say there's a focus, that would be it. It's just making sure that I am putting first things first. Yeah. Right. And so like today I woke up, did some scripture reading. Actually, Armour was listening to it too.
I love that.
Yeah. And he was like, Dad, can you keep playing it? He was interested. He's like, keep playing it.
Well, Armour's our second born and he is probably our most spiritually sensitive kid. He's just very, maybe he'll be a pastor or something one day.
Yeah,
he's interesting. He has a different level with that.
Different level. So anyways, but that would probably be my focus.
And that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I'm wearing my little beanie today. I really debated, should I take it off before we get started or not? But I'm cold, so I'm keeping it on, which is so funny because
you might get hot though.
I'm California cold, right? Like it's like 55 degrees lately, cold, and I am frozen, chilled to the bone. I want to just get in hot water. And people who live in other parts.
You are only 5 feet though,
What does that have to do with anything?
You're tiny. Tiny people get colder faster.
I don't know if that's
the
true.
Little people. The little people.
Stop. That's a fun fact because you guys wouldn't know because we're always sitting here. Richard is 6'2" and I'm 5 foot nothing. So we do have a very
it's the most awkward hug you could possibly.
It is not.
It is. Well,
why
for a
would
long
you
time,
say that?
I felt awkward because I didn't know whether I should bend down and like I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, or should we just hug where I'm like. You're just in my head's in my chest and I'm like way up here.
Yeah.
Now I kind of prefer that. But for a long time I was like, I gotta like.
Oh, that's so funny.
I don't know. It's just weird. So,
Well,
but
I've
it's
noticed
much better now.
One thing I do like to do at home is like I'll stand on a bench or something. So we're a little bit more
that is awesome.
And I like to hug you that way.
That is great. I like that too.
But yeah, we have a very big height disparity if you guys didn't know.
That's pretty epic.
So that was a long intro when we didn't have an intro planned. But last week on the podcast, what did we talk about last week?
We talked about how to. No.
It wasn't the victim mentality one. It was the one after that.
Isn't this amazing?
How do we always do this? You think
this?
I think about this before.
New Year's. Wasn't it New Year's? Yeah, it was New Year's. Had a plan. Yeah, that was the last one. Plan.
Making a plan.
Isn't
As
that
a couple? Is that what it was?
What it was? I don't know. Leave
a
comment down
YouTube
below.
check.
What was our last?
Tell me.
What was our last
podcast? Quick little YouTube check. Stop living like everyone else. That's what it was. Don't be afraid.
Oh, that's right.
To do things differently.
Your way, baby.
Do things your way.
Come on.
I knew that wasn't right. Okay, so that was last week. That was a fun one. And then today we are going to be talking about. Okay, So good luck to Ishmael on naming this one because my explanation's long. But sometimes it can be hard to think and define what it means to have a good marriage, right? You think, okay, we want to be happy. It's like, okay, but how do you do that? Or like, we want to be in love. Okay, but like, how do you do that? Sometimes what can be easier is if you just define what do you have to do to have a really awful marriage and then do the opposite of those things.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about what you would have to do to have a really awful marriage, which sounds really
I
weird.
know.
But we're going to talk about 10 things you can do to have a really awful marriage.
Just to guarantee your marriage would be
Guarantee
horrible.
it would be awful. So then we can do the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called inversion thinking. Inversion.
Inversion thinking. Okay.
It helps. I think it helps.
Yes. So that's what we're going to talk about.
I like it. Let's do it. It should be spicy.
All right. So you have the first one. You go ahead.
I have the first one?
Yep.
Okay. So number one, if you want to have a miserable, awful, just horrible marriage, you would make God optional. Number one.
I like that.
You would pray only when it's convenient. You wouldn't confess your sins to Jesus. You wouldn't worship together. And you would not pursue any community together. So I think, obviously this is a faith-based message, but I do think that at the core of a very strong, successful marriage, you would have Jesus as at the foundation of it. And I liked how Stephen Furtick. Now there's a lot of like, oh, is Stephen Furtick legit or not? I don't know, but he's helped me draw closer to God. And so one thing Stephen Furtick said one time in one of his sermons is, it wasn't like we've all heard like, hey, put Jesus first, right? God comes first. The point that Stephen Furtick was making is like, yes, that's good. However, the way I like to think about it is God's at the center. So imagine Earth and like, you have the moon that like rotates around the Earth. Like that's almost how
you moved the camera.
Oh shoot, that's almost how he described it. It's like God is rotating.
No, you rotate around God.
Yeah,
Your life,
you are rotating around Jesus. And I think every successful marriage, if you want to guarantee that you're going to have a miserable marriage, just take God out of it, and everything will be harder.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we've seen the couples that maybe make the decision. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and here's another thing to think about, right? A lot of what makes marriage work is the fruits of the Spirit. So you take away the fruits of the Spirit, such as love, patience, self-control, 3 massive ones. Now, what are you left with? You're left with resentment, anger, the opposite of joy. You don't want those things in your marriage. And so those are fruits of the Spirit, which means you can only have them if God is at the center.
Yes.
So anyways, I think that one hit me hard.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, my very first one, which is probably the most obvious one, is if you want to have a horrible marriage, you be unfaithful. That'll do it.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Yeah.
That'll do it. And, the whole idea that like humans are animals and they're not meant to be monogamous, like the whole Andrew Tate thing that he spouts.
That's a bunch of nonsense.
It's a bunch of nonsense, but it's gained traction in certain circles.
Especially just with dudes.
With dudes.
I'm the alpha, man. Like I go around, I spread my seeds.
Right. Babe,
like
put your hand down. You keep doing that.
wildflowers in the night.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good point though.
But that is one way to ensure that you don't have a marriage, not even an unhappy one. You just won't have one.
It is a done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well, so here's something practical that you and I believe in our marriage. When it comes to the opposite sex, people might disagree, but we just say we don't have friendships with the opposite sex.
Nope.
Like I don't have girlfriends.
Nope.
Oh, hey, why don't you just call Stacy, see what she thinks. Don't get me wrong. I will talk to women, right? They come over. I'm not sexist or anything like that. Like I will talk to women. However, it doesn't go any further than like when I'm in the room talking with a girl. Like I'm never going to text her and be like, hey, Mary, came across this today. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Just because, look, at the end of the day, I'm a dude. And I am attracted to the opposite sex. Yeah. I am, And so the more that I have a relationship with another woman, the more I'm planting seeds for that relationship to get a little out of control very slowly, drip by drip by drip. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, hey, Mary, I had a bad fight with my wife tonight.
Right.
I'm like, no. We just cut that off. Like, we don't have opposite sex friendship. So anyways, That's just something that we do.
Yeah. Well, we have an entire episode about boundaries and
We
how
do.
we kind
It's
of view
very
that.
good.
And I think it's a really important one. But I actually had a friend who told me, I listened to that episode and honestly, I thought it was really extreme and really kind of silly. And then her husband had an affair.
Yeah.
And she's like, and man, I wish I'd listened because, it's really
It
sad.
starts with that. Everything starts with that.
It starts with that. It starts with confiding a little too much. It starts with looking forward to the conversation a little too much, So yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one.
So this is, again, more faith-based, but you would do the opposite of Ephesians 5,
Okay.
which is Ephesians 5. That's the highest calling there is on marriage.
Respect your husband and love her like Christ loved the church.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Respect your husband. And it says you have to love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Mm-hmm.
So just do the opposite if you want to have a horrible marriage.
There you go.
So what does that look like? Well, instead of protecting your wife, protect yourself, husbands. Just do what's convenient for you always. Never think about your spouse. Don't love your spouse like Christ loved the church. And in fact, demand respect and avoid any type of sacrifice. You know what's so funny? We went to a church service one time. I just thought this was hilarious because you can make anything seem to be what it's not.
The Mary Poppins.
He took a Mary Poppins, best, most like family show of all time, and they chopped it up and turned it into a horror film.
And put like scary music.
And it was scary.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, this is a wild show right here. But it's just like, it goes to show you how you can like turn things, you can spin anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah. And then wives lead with contempt, sarcasm, and public dishonor against your
That'll do it.
against your husbands. And you can guarantee a bad marriage.
Yeah. Well, if you've ever read the Proverbs, I mean, I don't know the number, but the amount of times it talks about the quarrelsome wife, the nagging wife is like a dripping roof, and how it does not have anything good to say about that nagging, quarrelsome woman. Don't be that woman.
I know. I used to have nightmares of that. No, I'm sure. But seriously, when you would read Proverbs, I'm like, man, I'm glad I don't know that lady.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want that in my life. Drama free. By the way, if there's anything that Hailey and I believe in more than probably anything on the planet, is there is no drama.
No drama.
We stay away from it. Gossip, drama, just please take it out of
Take it out of here.
Take it out of here. We don't want it.
Yeah. Well, so the next one that I have is kind of related to yours, but it's be critical and mean. If you want to have a horrible marriage, be critical and mean.
Yeah.
Be fault finding. Point out everything they do wrong. Let culture tell you everything that should annoy you, and just be really annoyed by it instead of just getting over it.
Man, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So practical.
Yeah.
So what is it? Be critical and mean.
Be critical and mean.
Yeah. What are some ways that people do that? It's just like, everything's just a flaw.
Everything's a flaw. Everything has to be pointed out. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I think the point needs to be hit home harder, and that you don't need to be annoyed or upset or address everything culture tells you should be upset or annoyed by.
That's a good point.
Your husband leaving his clothes on the floor was the example we gave last time. But you can have so much more grace for things that really you're just wasting your own time and making yourself crazy being bothered by them. You know what I mean? It's like the old, you're drinking poison, hoping the other person dies. It's like, he's probably not going to learn to pick his clothes up off the floor.
Yeah.
So just put them away. But instead of making yourself crazy, just do it joyfully and move on.
Yes.
That's
a discipline for sure.
It is.
Yeah, it's a tricky discipline.
But my whole thing is
so much fruit in your marriage.
There is no character issue with leaving his clothes on the floor, right? That's nothing. But there is a character issue with being mean and critical and not getting over it.
Yeah.
Deal with your own character.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time you're pointing the finger, you got 3 pointing back at you.
That's true.
It's a great point.
Yes. And Proverbs 15 says a soft answer will turn away anger. And so it just goes instead of being critical and mean, if you can come with gentleness and hey, this really kind of hurt my feelings, or this is how I felt about this. Do you think we could do this? You're going to get a much better response. And if it's just I can't believe you did that. How could you do this? I've asked you 1,000,000 times not to do that. You're going to get anger back at you, right?
Yeah.
You've got to soften the tone when you address things.
Yeah.
Which we're all
it's the power of thoughts, man. For anybody listening to this real quick, I know it's not a marriage book, but it's a human betterment book, and it's called It's called, shoot. It's by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh.
You love that book.
Oh man, that is like an all-time great book. And it talks about the power of your thoughts. And I know it sounds woo-woo and thoughts and XYZ, but honestly, your life is made up of your thoughts. Like just drop the hammer right there. And you cannot be angry unless you have an angry thought. So all emotions stem from thoughts. I am going to be mean. Well, the only way you can be mean is you have a mean thought first, and then it comes out in raw form. That's for anything, by the way. And so it's like, I read another book called The Power of Positive Thinking. And then I read another book called by John Maxwell that says Attitude's Everything. And these are little perception shifts in your life. But man, if you can just turn a negative thought into a positive thought instantly in your marriage, where it's like, I'm going to be sarcastic. Nope, never mind. I'm going to change the thought, and I'm actually going to give my spouse a compliment. Even though like it's such a big discipline, but it makes a huge difference in your marriage. It really does. And for people thinking like, well, yeah, that's great, but like that's not real life. It can be real life, actually.
Well, I can tell you guys with 100% honesty, 100%, I have known Richard for 17 years, and never once ever have I heard a harsh word come out of your mouth. Ever. So people think, oh, that's ridiculous. It can't be done. People have emotions and people say things they don't mean all the time.
Hey, fruit of the spirit, self-control.
Rich really does it. And I do sometimes. Like, I'll just be completely honest. I do struggle. And sometimes you feel so validated in saying this mean thing because you just, this time they deserve it. But it's never right.
Yeah.
And Richard is a perfect testament to the fact that you don't have to let it come out of your mouth just because you think it.
I love the scripture where it says, hold every thought captive. To me, that is one of the most powerful scriptures in all of the Bible. Because if you go back to that verse, what is Jesus talking about? He's saying we don't war against flesh and blood. What we war against is principalities and spirits, right? But in that same vein, in that same sentence, he talks about holding every thought captive. Why? Because thoughts is a spiritual battle too. It's a principalities. The devil tries to get a hold of your mind. And if he can get a hold of your mind, he knows that, dude, if I can just get him to think this thought, I can get him to act this out in actual life. And so that whole verse right there, like, man, it gives me chills thinking about it. But like, that is the real battle. The real battle is in between the ears because it's a war against not flesh and blood versus spirits and principalities and all the darkness in this world. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should say this. Maybe we should go through it because it's kind of on the vein of yours. But it says communicate like enemies.
Oh, okay. Well, I have here communicate only when you're already mad. So let's just talk about both of them.
There you go. Yeah, we'll just pair it up.
We'll just keep pairing them
But
up.
look, if you want to have a horrible marriage, just communicate like you're adversaries and you're not on the same team and you guys are complete enemies.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I completely agree. Or communicate only when you've flipped a lid. You've reached your end, and so now you're going to blow up.
Yes, just blow up.
Yeah. Communicate way before then. And just to plug it, that's where Spark comes in handy.
Spark check-in.
It does. Spark check-in. You got to get the communication on the table at a low volatility time when emotions are low, when you're not in the middle of an argument. Let's just get the communication out
100%.
there. Hey, last week you did this thing that kind of hurt my feelings. Can we talk about it instead of blowing up right then? You know what I mean? Like Spark. If it does nothing else, it just helps couples communicate.
100%. And the cool thing now, guys, by the way, Spark, you can get it on the first link in the description, but you can start with a free 7-day trial. You don't even have to put your credit card just to like see the power of it with your first check-in with your spouse.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Cool.
But yeah, I have a couple bullet points here. It says use sarcasm as your personality. How do you like that one?
Sarcasm. Sarcasm's one of those things that like...
It feels harmless.
It feels harmless and people think that it's funny.
Yeah.
I think it's almost always hurtful.
Yes.
To somebody.
Yeah. Let me give you a little story.
Okay.
So I follow this couple. I'm not going to give you their names, but they're on social media, big players. A lot of people would know them. This guy tells a story. He's like, you know what? One time I just told my wife straight up to stop doing this, and it improved our marriage tenfold. And he says, what my wife would do is, it was nonchalant. She didn't mean anything by it, but every time she said it, I kind of just like, I don't want you to say that. And it would be something to the effect of like this. You're so dumb. Oh, you're so stupid. You know, like just saying it like, oh, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. And you know what? Every time she said it, it just hit me the wrong way. And I think a lot of marriages would go on and just ignore it. It's like, you know what, just part of my wife. She's not meaning it. But he's like, I had a conversation with my wife. I said, you know what, could you just stop saying that? I know you don't mean anything by it, but I just prefer that you just don't say it anymore. And he's like, that day, he's like, my wife that day, I have never heard her say that phrase ever again.
That's cool.
So like, not only did he give the feedback, but she
took
received it
Yeah.
and she stopped. And
That's
he's like,
important.
that really improved our marriage. Like just me personally. And so sarcasm, if you do have it in the marriage, you can nip it in the bud by having a conversation around it.
And if you're married to somebody who you feel like is sarcastic and it bothers you, maybe just try that conversation. Like, hey, I know you don't mean anything by this. I know that like it's maybe like you think it's your sense of humor or whatever, but we maybe like not communicate that way. You know,
Yeah.
like
I don't take it very well.
I just don't like it.
100%. I think it's a great. I think it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can stonewall, criticize, and it says right here: Scripture repeatedly warns us about corrupt, angry speech and conflict patterns that destroy relationships.
Mm-hmm. Well, the book of James is almost all about the power of the tongue and like,
I love the book of James.
oh, it's such a good one. But
He talks about the rudder. Your tongue is the rudder. It's so small on a boat. It's the smallest part of the boat almost, but it steers the whole ship.
Or it talks about how it's just like a little flame, but one little flame can grow a whole wildfire real fast if you're not careful, you know?
Dude, you know what? I have a good little line right here.
Ooh, let's hear
It
it.
says, tone is theology in real time. Whoa. How do you interpret that?
Tone is theology in real time.
Do you agree, disagree?
I
It's
mean,
kind of intense.
That's intense. But
But your
basically,
tone is the thing.
yeah, like you can really tell what someone thinks about someone or what someone thinks about the relationship based off of how they'll treat them. I mean, I think that's true.
Yeah, that's a sarcasm is just anger wearing makeup.
I think that's true. I think it can either
You
be
can only put lipstick so much until
On
it's
a
like
pig so
on a
many
pig
times.
so many times.
I think it's either it can be anger, it can be contempt, it can be mean. Like maybe this person's just mean.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Don't be
sarcasm's ever harmless. I really don't.
Yeah, just cut it out.
Yeah.
Cut it. What do you got?
Okay. Next, I have if you want to have a horrible marriage, assume you already know everything about your spouse.
Oh, that's an interesting
Yeah.
one.
Don't be curious anymore. Assume you
Man.
already know.
Do you feel like you know everything about me?
Absolutely not. You shock me every day.
Daily?
Every
I
day.
know. Just my stunning good looks, I'd imagine.
Yes, it does.
It's like
It
every day
knocks
I
me.
wake up, you're like, wow, he's so much more handsome than I remember.
You know what? That still does kind of blow me away.
Right back at you, babes. I'm like every day, I'm like, man, this girl's smoking hot. What is she doing at the gym? Her butt's looking really
Stop
good.
it. But I think that's one way to do it. I think you should always be wanting to know how your spouse came to different conclusions, how they were thinking about something. I mean, I think curiosity just is an expression of love.
Shoot, you know what? I feel a little convicted with that one. I'm going to be
Do
honest.
you think you know everything about
No,
me?
I don't feel like I do, but I feel like I treat you like I do. Like, I don't think I ask you enough questions now that I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh, I already know what she's going to say about that. I already know how she feels about that. But you know what? Feelings change and thoughts change
They do.
and people grow. And so some of the things that I hold about you right now, you might have different answers to.
I might.
I feel a little convicted with that one.
Okay. Interesting.
That one hit me a little bit harder.
Okay.
Because, you know, we're so together all the time. And I'm like, I know my wife inside and out. And I know but I need to be a little bit more curious.
And I do feel like I know you better than anyone else in the world. But I just feel like,
I know.
and you know what it is it's just, you can't think in a way that you don't think. You know what I mean? So
Blind
like,
spot.
It's a blind spot, sort
Blind
of.
spot, yeah.
And so
That's such a good point, dude.
you have had different life experiences and different, like you're just, even if we come to the same conclusion, the way you get there might be different.
Way different.
You know, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. So if you want to have a horrible marriage, just stop. Feel like you know everything about your spouse. The
You already
opposite
know
of that
everything.
is you are very curious about your spouse and you definitely want to know like, what do they think about this? What are they going to say about this? There's more to learn about this person. There's more that I can get to know about this person. Would that be the opposite?
Yeah.
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 That's great. By the way, Spark does that.
Spark helps with that. Yeah.
Spark helps with that. Okay, that was number 4 for you? Or yeah.
I have two more. So
I have
I
two
don't
more.
know.
Okay, I think I have 2 more. Okay, how about this one? Keep a ledger and stay bitter.
Literally, my next one was keep score.
Keep score. Look at this. We're
Look
on
at this.
such just, man, the wavelengths right now, the whole thing is just on fire.
I bet our next one's similar too.
Let me see. I'm going to take a little. Ooh, I don't know. I think my next one's pretty intense.
Okay.
But yeah, look, keep score.
Keep score.
And have a miserable marriage.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? Do you think we do this at all? I don't feel like we do this.
I think the one area we can get tripped up on this one a little bit is like, we saw your family last week. Let's go see. Or
We actually recently had something like that.
Yeah.
It was around actually
vacation.
vacations. We did say, and it might have been me. I can't remember how it went down, but we did kind of talk about it. But we squashed it pretty fast.
I wouldn't say it's squashed because I still feel that way a little bit.
You still feel that way. Oh, but it's you that brought up the
me.
keeping score. Yeah, it was you,
me.
not me.
Yeah.
Jeez, I thought it was me real quick.
No, it was me.
You're trying to point this at me? No,
You said it was you. I didn't.
Look, this is how you fight, guys. This is how you do a good battle right here. Yeah. Okay. So, but I will say that I don't feel like we keep score. That is the one exception that we literally just had a conversation around it. But dude, look, here's the bottom line: is the tit for tat stuff. Is it going to really drive your marriage forward and bring unity and bring more power? We talked about this. For everything that you bring to the table, you bring your 100%. Let your spouse bring their 100%, and let the score be what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is one of those things that really, when both people are bought in and doing their part, it just works so perfectly. But if I can be completely focused in our marriage on serving you and not worried about myself, and then you can come in and be completely worried about serving me and not worried about yourself.
Which is so hard without Jesus.
But
impossible without Jesus.
Yes. But when both people are doing that, I can serve you also knowing that I'm going to be taken care of because you're taking care of me. And that's when it works so beautifully. Now, when you have one person who's only worried about taking care of their spouse and the spouse is only worried about taking care of themselves, that's when you're going to get a really drawn out, withdrawn, miserable spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But when you guys can take care of each other and then everyone's getting taken care of,
that's right.
That's when it works.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is. That's when
It's what makes the world go round.
It would, yes.
Yeah, it's hard to do. Now, here's something that I see over and over is you bring up the past.
Yes, don't do that.
Because scorekeeping can be that past, man.
For sure.
And the past, you know what? There's two places that you don't want to spend too much time in. And if you're going to spend one, you're going to spend a lot of time in the past, which, look, this is interesting. So depression and anxiety. This is what I learned about it, right? Because as I was, we all feel depressed sometimes. We all feel maybe an emotion of anxiety sometimes. And I learned from a mentor. He said, dude, Rich, a lot of depression is stemmed from you just being in the past. Whenever we stay in the past, depression comes because we're thinking about, either the good old days, what this person did to me, what they try to do in the past, what I went through in the past, my past relationships brings depression. He says, anytime you feel anxious, your thoughts are in the future. You're thinking about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to get past this situation? What am I going to do for this trip coming up? How am I going to spend this money? So anxiety is future dependent. Depression is past dependent. Mm-hmm. Where you want to try to stay is in the present.
Yeah.
And that's where all life happens. So hard to do.
That's right.
Because if you think about it, like beyond this moment, like we're in the present right now. This is life. This is it. This is the moment that is so much joy right now. But it's like, I'm thinking about tomorrow. What am I going to do for work?
Yeah.
Like that just robs all your joy.
Yeah.
But
I think it's hard because decisions that you make in the present affect the future. And then decisions that you made in the past are affecting your present, so it's hard to like just completely isolate that.
Such a good point.
But
you are right now because of a decision you made 6 months ago, and you will be in the future what you do today.
Exactly.
Which is
crazy.
It's
maybe not super responsible to just like not consider those things, Like we have a daughter with some health issues. And so we're having to make decisions for the long term that like, I'm hoping this decision we're making today is going to put her in a different place here in a few months.
That's a good point.
But
yeah,
there's I can't just like, hey, this would be really fun right now, so we're going to do this. But no, that's not good for her future. You know what I mean? So you have to.
But a good way to make sure that you have a lot of anxiety is like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? What if this? What if?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a good framework, though. I think it helps a lot of people. Yes. I had this conversation with a lady that was having a lot of anxiety. She's like, I've never been told that before. She's like, that makes so much freaking sense.
Yeah.
And it helped,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So is it me or you?
I have one more.
What do you got?
If you want to have a horrible marriage, you refuse personal responsibility.
Oh, jeez Louise.
And we had a whole podcast about the victim mentality. Go back and listen to it because it maybe is one of my favorites we've ever done. But
Whew. Man, it's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
That is my pet peeve.
Mm-hmm.
Take full responsibility. So hard to do.
Yes.
Good book is Extreme Ownership, right? Again, most of the books we're going to recommend are not quote unquote marriage books.
Have we ever recommended a marriage book?
Yeah, it's like it's not a marriage book, but this is just how to be a better person book.
Yeah.
And better people, guess what? It's shocking.
Have
I
better
know.
marriages.
Have better marriages.
Yes, they do.
Isn't that interesting?
Which I wanted to bring this up because I forgot to bring it up on the victim mentality, but we talked about Extreme Ownership, the book by Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
He has a kid series
called
The Way of the Warrior Kid.
Oh,
and they're
great.
like chapter books. I think there's 2 or 3 of them.
Riker has them.
I've read them to him. They're really, really good. And like done obviously in a story form, but to drive that point home for your kids, which I'm actually going to reread that to them. Those are fun books.
Way of the Warrior Kid.
The Way of the Warrior Kid.
Jocko has a lot of books, by the way.
He does.
Okay, good. So if you want to have a horrible marriage, just do not take any responsibility and always have a reason for why
it's not your fault.
It's not your fault and point the finger.
Exactly.
Gosh, it's so easy to do though.
It's so
like,
easy
do you know
to do.
every time everything goes bad, you always just want to be like, dude, it's that guy's fault. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to do that all the time. I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to do that. It feels so freeing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, it's not my fault. Like I didn't do that. It wasn't me. Don't look at me.
But the idea of freedom in that is such a facade.
It's a
because
facade.
if it's not your fault, then you don't have any power to
You lose
change
all
it,
your
and you're
power.
stuck.
You're stuck for life.
Where if it's your fault and you can change something, like, okay, this just came up with one of our kids the other day. What were we talking about? Oh, our son was mad because he woke up late. He decided to sleep in on Saturday. And by the time he woke up, he had to get his chores done before he was allowed to play video games. And he was going to miss, I don't even know what this was. There's like something that happened at 12 o'clock.
Still a brain rot for anybody listening to this.
I don't know. If something happens at 12, I don't know. But hey, you have to get your chores done before you're allowed to go play. And he was so mad. I'm like, son, take some ownership here. Either you're like the victim and you have no control, or you set your alarm and get up earlier if it was that important to you. But whether or not you have to do your chores is not up for debate, you know?
I know. I feel like we've been trying to get this ownership through the kids for a while.
Oh,
it's like they always just want to get rid of the ownership.
That's human.
And I'm like, son, no, you have to realize it's your fault, or you're going to keep doing it. And guess what? They keep doing it because they refuse to take responsibility for it.
Yep.
If anybody's got good tips on how to like get your kids to take full responsibility, I feel like we're in that phase right now.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get our kids to like realize, dude, don't be a victim.
Yeah.
It's hard, but I think they're kind of.
It's a constant conversation. I don't think it'll be a one-time thing where they're like, oh, I get it. It's just going to be a constant.
No, Armour did this.
Yeah.
No, Riker started.
You should have woken me up.
Yeah, Yeah, Mom, I missed my thing today because you didn't wake me up.
Nope.
Like, what? Okay, interesting. You're gonna go that way, huh? By the way, he is powerless when he says that.
Yep.
Okay, so what do I got here? So number 5. Okay, this one's
said it was intense. I'm excited to hear it.
It is intense. Feed fantasy, lust, and comparison.
Ooh, this is intense. Okay. I like this one.
Compare your spouse to other couples. Oh, but oh my gosh, you don't even know what her husband does. Her husband comes home and makes dinner and does the dishes, and he's great. Scroll and stew on comparison traps. Oh man, how many people do that? Babes, we got to go on vacation. They just took their 5th vacation this year. We haven't gone on one. We suck. Porn, emotional affairs. Ooh. Emotional affairs and private indulgences. Just feast on that.
Yep.
You want to have a horrible marriage? Just feast on all those things. And
Which, can I just say, an emotional affair is an affair. There is no distinction. It's unfaithful is unfaithful
that
is
is
unfaithful.
An affair. And have secret worlds. Have a secret Facebook account and a secret gaming account and all this secrets account. Have a secret credit card.
Right. Yeah, just having a life that your spouse is not privy to is just,
Great way to destroy your marriage.
That'll destroy your marriage.
Overnight.
Yep. And maybe not overnight. Maybe it'll be really slow.
It might be
but
slow.
it'll do it.
But eventually it comes out.
It'll get it done.
Yeah, the opposite of that, of course, is the complete opposite.
Unity.
Have no secret stuff. Everything's together. By the way, I know this is not a finance thing, but dude, share bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Share the bank account.
We need to do a whole episode about that. But
you got to share the bank account. I've listened to millionaires. I've even heard billionaires say the last thing you want to do is share a bank account with your wife. Share your bank accounts.
Yep.
I don't know. Call me old fashioned. Maybe I'm too old fashioned, but we share all bank accounts.
Oh, yeah.
We share all
Old
credit
fashioned. We
cards.
know older people that don't share bank accounts.
That's a good point.
We
yeah.
do.
Maybe
I don't
we're
know.
we're too new school.
Too new school. We're
too new
just right
school.
in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think you're completely right. I mean, I think, porn is a big one and we don't like to talk about it. But what is the stat? It's like
it's huge.
80% of men or something, and I don't know what the stat is on women, but I know women can struggle with it too.
Porn is probably, I don't know how big it is. I could look up the stats.
Yeah, you could probably look it up.
Let's see.
And even the couples that maybe they watch porn together so that they can, I don't know, get in the mood or whatever. But I think people underestimate how dangerous that is. And that's literally inviting a third personality into your bedroom. I don't know if people realize how serious and how dangerous that is.
Okay. This is actually way more shocking than I have. Now, again, I'm using something called Perplexity, which does give pretty good stats and everything. Mm-hmm. A large Christian men's survey found that about 55% of married Christian men, say they look at porn at least once a month. About 11% say they look at it daily.
Whoa.
Christian married men.
Wow.
So 55%, man, that's actually way worse than I thought. I guess that makes sense. In a broader relationship research, between about 70 to 92% of men report using pornography at some point while in a romantic relationship. So it's a real thing. It's a real epidemic. I mean, that's epidemic. You know what I'm saying?
And obviously, intellectually, we know, okay, that's not a real woman. That is not a real situation, but it is setting a standard that your wife can just never meet, right? She's never going to look like that. She's never going to behave like that. She's
100%.
never going to sound like that. That's just, there's no reality here.
There's no reality in it.
And we all know this. We know the damage it does to your brain. We know how much harder it makes it to reach satisfaction.
That's the point
the next
I was going to
time.
make. That is horrible for that.
It's just so bad for your brain. It's just bad.
It's all the way around. Not to mention, it's a massive sin.
Yeah.
It's a sin.
Period.
It's like if you're a Christian man, your point is to draw closer to God, which means you want to try to get rid of much sin as possible. And and look, I get it, dude. It's lust. It's like a desire. It's a core desire of a man. I mean, women too, but in terms of men, it's like, bro, it's not good. Yeah, not good.
Not good.
So don't do that.
Don't do that unless you want to ruin your marriage.
Unless you want to ruin marriage, of course. Yeah. Then hey, the fourth wife. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
What's your last one?
That was. Didn't I finish?
No, wasn't that mine?
My last one was don't refuse personal responsibility. That was my last.
Oh, that was your last one? Oh, I thought you had one more. Okay, great. So that's it. What's the recap? I don't know if we should give a recap.
So then,
okay,
so we went in detail on all the things you should do if you want to ruin your marriage. So just do the reverse for us. So the whole point is that you can reverse engineer that and look at, okay, then what do I need to do to have a good marriage? So just do it quick.
For mine, here, so I'll give you mine, the reverse of mine. So look, you have make God optional. You would make God
essential.
Everything revolves around Jesus, and that is your foundation. You would reverse. So if you want to have a horrible marriage, you would not do Ephesians 5. So you would do Ephesians 5. Husbands would try to have sacrificial love for their wife every moment they can to try to love their wife like Christ loved the church. And wives would respect their husbands in the full sense of the word, right? They would communicate like enemies if you want to ruin your marriage. Well, you do the opposite. You would communicate like people that love each other and that want to teammates, right? And then, of course, you would keep a ledger and stay bitter. Opposite of that is there would be no scorekeeping ever. And instead of staying bitter, you would stay grateful for your partner every single day, ideally, right? And then you would feed fantasy, lust, and comparison. Well, just cross them off. Feed faith, love, and gratitude. I don't know. But yeah, as much as you can, get rid of any type of fantasies, any type of lust in your marriages, any type of comparison. Just remove them. Mm-hmm. That'd be mine.
Okay. And then mine, if you want to ruin your marriage, be unfaithful. So the opposite of that, be faithful to your marriage through and through. If you want to ruin your marriage, be critical and mean. So the opposite, be gentle, be kind, be patient. If you want to ruin your marriage, stop being curious and assume you already know everything about your spouse. So if you want a great marriage,
Stay curious.
Stay curious. If you want to ruin your marriage, keep score. If you want to have a fantastic marriage, focus on service of each other and things will all work out.
Amen to that.
If you want to ruin your marriage, you communicate only when you're already mad. If you want to save your marriage, communicate openly all the time. And wait until emotions are not volatile and you can sit and have a calm conversation. And finally, if you want to ruin your marriage, you refuse personal responsibility. If you want to have an awesome marriage, you take full ownership.
Wow.
There you go.
You know what
Just
the funny
reversing
part
it.
is? It sounds so simple. It's like not rocket science, folks. Having a great marriage is not rocket science. We just gave all the horrible things, what to do instead. The problem is it's just hard to
Implementation.
How do I, be kind every day, be grateful every day, say nice words every day. Don't get rid of negative thoughts every day.
Yep.
Get rid of lust and fantasies and comparisons every day. Don't keep score every day. Like, it's not hard. It just takes consistency and effort, So I think that's a good, hopeful message for everybody. It's like, this is all doable. It's not rocket science, especially for us. I mean, we're in the thick of it too. So yeah. Any last words? Any final words?
Nope, that was it.
All right, guys. Well, hey, share the podcast if you find it helpful, because if you find it helpful, odds are other marriages will find it helpful as well, and that helps us grow a lot. If you guys want to try sparkchecking.com, it's the first link down below. You can get a free 7-day trial. It'll help grow your marriage, keep your marriage thriving. We know you guys will love it. And besides that, we will see you on the flip side.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Love you.